Yay! So grateful to be here with you right now. And we'll give everyone a few minutes to come in. Today is February 5th. And Trudy and I have known each other for 4 or 5 years. It just feels like
Mm.
a blur in many ways. A lifetime, lifetimes possibly.
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt, without a doubt.
Yeah, exactly. Our energies know each other. And it's quite beautiful and profound when we've kind of gone like this, then we come together and go like this, then we come together and
Mm.
we're on a very similar path. And obviously, you're in the UK, I'm here. I've done some past life regressions with you. Done some messages because you're a beautiful channel. And yeah, what would you like to add to that?
Well, I don't know if anybody else noticed just a moment ago that there was like a glitch, let's call it, and I actually saw my grandmother
Ah,
move through your energy, and it gives me the tingles. And the fact that you talked about, many lifetimes, it feels like a little nod from my
yeah,
spirit team going,
yeah,
yeah, she has been, and probably
right?
in that role of grandmother as well, which feels like a validation of kind of a little nod to what we spoke about yesterday
Yes.
in terms of kind of your role and purpose more now than ever, as in being that mother, that midwife to the collective, because
Yeah.
there is so much nourishment and nurture that I think people are crying out for, but it's like they don't necessarily know that they're crying out for it. It feels more like, when I tap into it in my heart space, it feels more like a rejection of self rather than uh let me just cry out for it, let me just unfold,
Mm,
let me
mm.
just unleash.
Yes.
And it's
Yes.
we must allow ourselves to just unleash those parts of us that have been told, no, no, you can't. Censor, be quiet, be neat, be polite, and it's not going to suffice anymore. And
Yes.
actually, this is why I personally believe that emotions like anger are actually really good, because they wake us up. They really physically kind of shake us up, and they go, okay, so something isn't quite okay here. Where can I kind of stand to attention and bring all of me now, rather than just the pieces that society and systems that actually benefit off of my ignorance, off of my fear, off of me not knowing how darkness is actually beneficial to
Yes. Yes.
the collective.
Yes. And I want to preface some of this and with what Trudy's saying about this wisdom keeper, motherly energy, because I kind of pulled offline for several months to re allow myself just to be. And the first month, it was like, "Oh, but I'm losing this. Oh, but I'm missing this." It was like, "Nope, nope, nope, get off of there." That just showed me even more how much I needed to pull back a little bit. And the more
Mm.
I pulled back, the more I got to feel and sit with myself. And I did a whole round of entering back into Powell painting and going through a huge loop within that, which was probably what has led me to where I am now realistically. But I keep getting that we go through this heroine's journey in life. And when you hit menopause and perimenopause, that is an initiation. And you stop giving so much when you stop bleeding, and you start
Mm.
to withhold your energy a bit more and let other people do what they need to do and give wisdom, but not expect them to act upon it. They can just do what they need. You're more of that observer and you just hold this beautiful energy and space for people. And that's kind of where I feel that in making, pulling back and getting to go through some of these emotions, I've been on a wild emotional ride over the last 2 months. from crying one minute to angry the next. And it's only going through the emotions and allowing them to come out that we get to actually move through them properly rather than trying to suppress them, which I've learned that a lot of that sits in the gut, which is interesting to some of the lower back issues I went through.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now being called forward again because I can see the collective shadow. We can
Mm.
all see it, and whatever's in the shadow and is brought to the light to be alchemized and transformed is a breakdown for a breakthrough. It's a tower
Yeah.
moment. And we can't have one without the other, because if you everybody was always happy and oh everything's okay, then it becomes very status quo, which is where we've been in the past. And now it's time for an initiation of change for the collective. And so you're not broken. You don't
Mm.
need anything. You're perfect as you are. Just have to remember who you truly are if you choose. Yeah. Yeah. And so that's what we're here for today, is to give you a big virtual hug, um, holding the container of love and wisdom and non-judgment. If you have something you'd like to share or have expressed through us, we're happy to do that. And words of wisdom often come from conversation. So when somebody wants to say anything, I know Shay, you were struggling a bit today. So if you wanted to say anything, feel free. And Shelley, good to see you too. It's always nice to be here. And I know Trudie's a beautiful connection channel, and maybe we can describe that a bit more about,
Yeah.
yeah, so people can understand, because that discernment point is also huge. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I believe we're all channels, and I think when you say discernment, uh,
Yeah.
I think so many of us get caught up in, well, what does that look like, and they look to other people, other channels for the template. And they imagine that a channel is possibly someone in that trance state, and their voice changes and something takes over their body, and the person is no longer there. And whilst that might be true in some cases, for me it's evolved to my most natural part of me comes through, and I simply join hands with all of my spirit team, and it's the egoic part of me just simply steps aside.
Yes.
That's all it is.
And
um
would you say that's also, we were talking on our hike today in nature about that embodiment piece and embodying more of the soul and being that you actually are, and being able to take more into this vessel. And are you also connecting with your higher self per se?
oh, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
because and
Mhm.
to which the spirit guides, I always describe spirit guides, they are extensions of you. They're not separate to you. It's not a codependent relationship. The minute you try and assume that like a spirit guide is going to do everything for you or give you the answers so that kind of you're off the hook, no.
Yeah.
Not at all. I've had, in the early days of my relationship with my first guide, Sunny, I threw a lot of tantrums, like a lot. Every day I was kind of screaming and shouting at him, like, like a bit of a teenager. And nothing was really happening other than he would roll his eyes and stand like this, like, well, just wait for her to finish. And I figured it out in the end. So if you're trying to develop your channel and receive guidance, you're always receiving guidance, but maybe that guidance is just waiting for you to go, oh, okay, maybe how I'm responding to self isn't in a way that's loving, compassionate,
Yeah.
inquisitive, curious,
Yeah.
because we are so used to, in this very egoic, dense reality, getting everything like that. And if I don't get it like that, then something's not working, or I've done something wrong, or I'm broken, or I'm blocked. And it's not that at all. But for me and my channel works best when people ask very specific questions,
Yeah.
because very specific questions doesn't give the ego a chance to kind of ruminate.
Yes. It's those words
And
that come out of your mouth when it's you're like, whoa, where'd that come from? Did I say
yeah,
that? Shay's
and
asking if you remember when this happens. Do you remember what you're
in
saying afterwards?
for the most part, no. And
Yeah.
you'll also, I've got a friend that I channel with quite regularly in private, and actually we've come to the recognition that we're going to start doing it a bit more publicly, because she's
Yeah.
finally cottoned on to the fact that she knows when I start to channel in conversation, because I'm relaxed, when my voice speeds up. It's like you'll probably notice it during this. The faster my voice goes, I'm channeling,
Okay.
because the
Yeah.
frequency is higher. And
Yep.
because the frequency is higher, my physical apparatus, if you will, is like trying to keep up. I can't slow it down. If I try and slow it down, I lose the essence of what's trying to come through.
Hmm.
And I've tried, and it doesn't work. That's me trying to censor myself. So I just go with it now.
There you go. And I think you're relaxed while you're in it. So
Oh,
it
very,
makes
yeah.
right instead of trying to force something to happen. And I think that's almost the point right now is, can you just be? You don't need to add more. What if we just did less
Mm,
and spent more time in nature and more time just being? You're not here to, you don't need to witness the world and what's
yeah.
happening. You don't need to suffer for everyone. When you suffer and you're suffering for everyone, you're actually bringing down your own energy, which is very depleting, but you're also bringing down those around you. By you focusing on you and being the best version of you, sometimes that means turning off the noise and
Yeah.
allowing it to play out, knowing that it's always been there. You just never saw it, and now it's coming to the light, and is to be alchemized. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. And one thing that Spirit want the audience to know
Yes.
is, if when you're in nature, and you'll notice I do this with my hands a lot, is if you feel like your brain shuts off, it's because the frequency is fast. It will tune you out to tune you in. And don't forget that trees are channels in and of themselves, and so are the animals. They are channels. And so you get to communicate with the trees and with the animals. And so when you do that, you may not recognize it as verbal language, but you will recognize it through other forms of communication. Also, the collective are going to be learning how to communicate through other forms of language. That is imperative. We must learn the language of telepathy through feelings, through other senses, because verbal language is very, very easy to distort and to manipulate.
Mm.
But when we can learn to use the language of our hearts, and the language of our womb, and the language of our emotional intellect, then we
Mhm.
will build a sustenance that cannot be broken, and that cannot be manipulated by systems that were never actually intended to sustain us. So yeah, go out in nature. If it's difficult to go out in nature, try and bring nature to you in some shape or form.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been feeding a hummingbird outside, and that's like, it's my little every little thing's gonna be all right. As the hummingbird's there, I'm like, oh yeah, we're good. And then there's a bunch of smaller birds, and I converse with them. I whistle. I don't know exactly what we're saying, but there's a response. And then as I'm walking through the forest, I'm hearing them and I'm responding to them. And so I'm already having this interaction because it keeps me super present. And that in itself is a gift. And Yeah. So however you interact with nature, is it a tree? Is it water source? The crows all recognize me because I feed the crows. So they imprint and send it across the crow family. Yeah. So wherever I go,
Also,
crows fly.
they're just saying that the crows will send it to the next generation of crows. And
Beautiful.
they will do that through the earth, and the seeds that are being planted by their sister, brother, mother crows, their son, daughter crows. That's quite interesting.
Yeah, very. Do hummingbirds do that as well? Do they send out a message like, "Hey, there's food over here"?
They do, but what I'm being shown is that they have, I want, I'm not sure if this is the right language, but this is the language I want to use, more intimate relationship with humans that hark back to Egyptian times.
Oh.
So like they're showing, you know how like cats were revered
Yep.
in Egyptian times, like that equivalent. Um, and I'm hearing my alien guide Arik say you might want to give the hummingbird an offering, and that offering will be sent to your sent back to your own ancestry that will then support the work that you're doing and the rest of your lineage. Basically, it's like she's here,
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
letting us know
Beautiful.
that,
Yeah.
yeah,
I feed the hummingbird for sure. I feed all of them, even the
yeah.
squirrels. Yeah, absolutely. On the Egyptian cats, I wanted to mention, have you, with your cats, tried playing Egyptian music and seeing how they respond?
Funnily enough, my Evie does.
Oh,
It drives me a little bit crackers because they don't like it.
oh,
They,
interesting.
yeah, they don't yeah, especially my grey cat, my Mimsy. Now she does look very Egyptian. She looks your typical Egyptian regal
Yeah.
uh cat, and she gets quite angry, almost as if to go, who do you think you are? Like
Mm.
like that, like how
How
dare you
dare
be like,
you play
you're not
that
worthy
music?
enough to be playing that music. You have some work to do first before you start playing that. um
Interesting.
but yeah, whereas my and she's the mother cat
Hmm.
as well, but her daughter, she's very like, we will have to kiss her first. She likes to be kissed, and she will
Mhm.
put her nose up, and we will have to kiss her, and then everything's fine. So they're very, I definitely believe that animals have had past lives.
Mm.
And when I was doing plant medicine in this room, I saw her like grow wings. It sounds absolutely kind of
Yeah.
but I literally saw her grow these huge wings, and it was
Yeah. Cool.
incredible. Yeah.
So Shay's saying, do I know you? Way back life. So Shay's very connected, and she's also been on live before. So she's picking up a frequency and vibration from you. Yeah, absolutely. And here's another message. My friend's cat, when they're being looked after human, when she is away, they tell her they're human sitting. Yeah, absolutely. Cats rule the world. I just said that the other day. Somebody had a picture of their cat leaning on the side of the couch with the legs crossed and going, I'm just imitating you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and pets have a beautiful way of um, giving you messages if you can hear it. Like there's a dog barking. I don't know if you can hear it. I
Yeah.
should cut her out because she can be a little bit of a PIA. So we'll see if we have to let her in. All right. So do we want to do a collective message for this time, Trudy? Would you like to do that?
We
And I,
can do. Is there anything? Do you have a question on
ah,
behalf of the collective?
yes, yes. For what we're going through right now and things being brought to the light, and it doesn't matter where we look, it's happening. What is the best thing for people to manage that for energetically for self? How to manage energy through chaotic times?
At first, you must all straighten your spines. Many of you have wonky spines. When one has a wonky spine, it means one feels awkward in terms of how they stand up to authority. If one feels like they cannot stand up to authority, they will never stand up to their own values and belief systems. So look at the way in which you use your spine. That is your internal authority. It's also how you perceive your own darkness. If you perceive your own darkness as a threat, you perceive yourself as a threat, and you are not meant to bend to yourself. You are not your own threat. Nobody is a threat to you. So look at how you use your posture. Your beliefs, your value systems are here to guide you. They are here to help you stand up. You are the force. No one else is the force against you. Also, look to the animals. You hear how one is barking. They are making themselves known. They are not bending to anybody else's will. You too must make a noise and be proud of the noise that you can make. Too many of you fear the sound of your own voice, your own noise. When you fear the sound of your own voice and your own noise, you will assume it's because somebody else deserves to use their voice over your own. Look at what is happening around you. Other people are shouting above you, and so you cower. When one cowers, they have forgotten their own sovereignty, but that does not mean that that sovereignty ceases to exist.
Mm.
And so we would encourage you to first stand up, straighten the spine, visualize the light moving through your crown and then down the back of the neck, through the spine, then through the tailbone towards the feet. And then with hands outstretched, say, I am the love. I am the authority. The authority does not bend. It honors, it values, it supports, it nourishes. Authority does not force. It does not rule. It does not control. That is not what authority is. Authority is sovereign. Authority is love. Authority is nourishment. Nourish your body, nourish your mind, and you will know the source as it was always meant to be, because this is what you are returning to right now. Now is exactly the perfect time. This time is perfect as is.
You're good.
Thank you.
That was beautiful. Thank you. It's that reminder. And you spoke about the spine. So what would you say about somebody that has issues with their spine? That they're not speaking enough about the darkness within them?
It's funny you say that because immediately I think of my son, who has
Mm,
had multiple surgeries on his spine,
yes.
who's just been told he needs to have another one because there's a fluid buildup, and he needs to have a monitor put in his brain to reduce the pressure. And he is someone that needs a lot of encouragement to
Mm,
say how he feels, because he's constantly looking for, is this okay to say? Who am I going to upset in the process? I don't want
mm,
to upset anybody. And then the anger builds, and then the pressure cooker is like all off.
Yeah.
What spirit are showing me now is, yes, this mostly comes from kind of past lives and other timelines and projections, where that person's energy has been like squished like this,
Hmm.
and is often in very, very early childhood, in the womb, and they have taken that frequency, that vibration on. Like the medical world would call it genetics.
Right? Everything is energy.
Exactly, like
Yeah.
exactly. And I think it's so subtle. We've got to like stop beating ourselves up as well as parents when this like.
Yes. Absolutely.
Otherwise, we're not gonna get past the point of, okay, I recognize this for what it is, so that I can access the tools and my own capacity to be able to support,
Yeah.
so that they can be independent healers themselves.
Yeah. Absolutely. I look
Um,
at I look at you with your children and your challenges, and I'm like,
yeah.
damn, you picked a life, girl.
Like, can I swear on here?
Yes.
Just like fucking hell, man. Like, I mean, thank God I'd made the decision to start connecting with my spirit guides and past life regression specifically, because that helped me take my crown chakra out of my root chakra, because I was so in victim mode, going, oh, what did I do to deserve this? Why me? Why me? And it shone a spotlight on, okay, I've been given these children so that they can see the value in learning, the
Yeah.
value in teaching through. Because how do we learn anything unless we know the opposite of what it means? It's like you only know you're grateful if you experience something to be ungrateful for. um
You only know love when you've been shown anything but love.
yeah, and like all of my children, bless them, have got something. Evie with her brain tumor, NF1s are seizures, Oliver with his spinal surgeries, is epilepsy, or Evie with her epilepsy as well, and me with my epilepsy, like something. But it's like when you see the journey that those things take you on, and then how you respond to those things, like that's the teaching there, that's the lesson, it's the response to them. It's not necessarily the, oh, we got rid of it.
Yeah.
That's what I've learned. It's like society only wants you to think that you're good or valuable or you're contributing something if you're completely free of something. And
Right?
I think that's the problem. And it's going back to this whole concept of dark and light again. Oh, you're only good if you're all light. Forget the dark. But are we forgetting that we're born in darkness? We sleep in darkness. We grow in darkness.
Yeah.
If that didn't exist, then what?
Yeah.
It's like you look up at a beautiful night sky, and oh my gosh, you realize how incredible you are, and how beautiful it is to actually exist.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I call it the void.
Mm,
Creation of everything, right? It's
yeah,
you know, it's so important because it's not influenced by anything. It's just darkness. Can you be with yourself?
yeah.
And self-care right now is not selfish. What do you need
Mhm.
to do for you? And figuring that out is part of the journey, hero's journey, heroine's journey. You're being asked now to, especially in this time, can you regulate yourself? Are you able to take in information and not take it on and like blast it out as this is where I stand. Oh, this thing about this is where I plant my stake. This is who I am. This is what's going on, because that stops you. It's stagnant. And if we look at a cell, I always feel like we're each individual cells within a larger being. You
Yeah.
look at the cell, it's always moving. So you can't be stagnant. If you become stagnant, you're missing out on so much. So don't stop. Don't be stagnant, but allow that balance of knowing the information and what do I need to do for self-care. If you really want to know the information, don't consume it like a Netflix binge. Take it in smaller chunks and then go for a walk, right? You don't have to consume it the same way. And not even to say that that's all good, but there's a lot of benefit to watching some of the Netflix. Like Stranger Things is popping in. It's got a lot of truth in it, right? You were watching that recently.
Yeah, I've even had my guides say sometimes, watch this film or watch that. And sometimes I feel like when they say that, I should turn up with a notebook and a pen and write
Right?
notes,
Yeah.
because it's not that the 3D world is bad. It's here as a resource. That's
Yeah.
what it is. The 3D world is a resource, so use it as such instead of using it as something that, oh, I need to reject it, and it's only the spiritual world that's good. And everything's here for your choosing. It's how you choose it. Like, what's your intention for choosing it?
Yeah. And are you responding or reacting? I
Mm.
always find that take a breath, wait, do I need to respond? Half the time I don't respond at all and it resolves itself. I'm like, oh, look at that. Do I need to entwine my energy into that space for this or don't I? So, yeah, it's been a journey, and I look at it this realm, this space as we chose to be here. So why not have some fun? Play with joy. It doesn't have to be all dark. Oh, but there's people suffering over there. Yes, they've always been suffering. They chose that suffering. And I'm not saying it in a really like negated way, as Trudy was just saying about, and I have a friend whose spirit gave her a choice. I can't remember what the other choice was, but one was love. And she went with love and then got shown everything that was not love, because you cannot know
Mm.
love unless you've been shown everything else. And so
Yeah,
we have these different experiences. And if energy cannot be created or destroyed, and you're not thinking about your heart beating, your blood pumping, you're not thinking about that. It just happens. You're an energy being. So if you're an energy being and energy cannot be created or destroyed, what happens when this avatar, so to speak, is done? There's a transition, a transformation. So then, oh, well, we can look at that and go, oh, so then I must have had a choice. You listen to some near death experiences, and
mm.
people leave their body and they share some very consistent stories along that line. And if that's true, then we must have choice and we must have chosen to come here. And if we remembered what and who we truly were, it wouldn't be the same emotional experience, human experience. And so, how dark can we go before we decide to go back to the light and find our way home? So, you have choice. Everyone has a choice. And my heart goes out to those suffering 100%. Send them love. If you
Yeah,
can send support, but you don't have to suffer with them. It's
yeah,
important that you don't. Yeah.
yeah. And I think we're learning at the moment what love really is. Like love isn't necessarily I have to suffer with you. I think it's been pedestaled as that for so
Mhm.
long, and people have got a little bit swept away, literally swept away with it. Well, if I love you, if I send you love, that means I have to almost be okay with what you're doing, or how you're hurting, and it's not that at all. The way that I perceive it is like I see your soul beyond your ego,
Yes.
and I communicate with that. That's what I see. I know that to be true. I know that your source exists,
Yeah.
and that helps. I've had to remind myself of that quite a few times with, the people in my life, and sometimes you need to do it over and over and over again, and that's okay. Just because it might not have worked once, it doesn't mean that you've not kind of healed properly, as the saying goes.
So what I'm hearing you say is that you have an opportunity, actually everyone has an opportunity
Mm.
to, prior to a connection or meeting that maybe is something that you want to discuss that might cause confrontation even, is to actually go to their higher, ask to speak to their higher self first and visualize things turning out in a positive way for everyone,
Yeah,
and going to somebody's higher self versus talking to their ego, so to speak.
yeah. So I'll just explain. I mean, this is going back quite a few years now, when I was struggling with forgiveness. And I
Mm,
remember saying to Sunny, I am really struggling to forgive my ex-husband, because quite frankly, he did abhorrent things.
mhm.
Um, and I'm not okay with those things. I can't just forget. And he said, it's not about forgetting, it's you're prioritizing your joy over his pain that he projected onto you. That made logical sense to me. I'm like, oh, I can get behind that, because every time I was angry,
Yeah.
I was just thinking about him rather than thinking about myself. And what Sonny was saying was, you're forgetting to think about yourself. you're you've forgotten your plan. You've forgotten your joy, because
Yeah.
you're so consumed by him and what he's doing. Um, and for me, actually, the way that my guys communicate with me has always felt very logical. And then he gave me this visualization to do. He said, visualize your ex-husband, the man that he was, and he's just stand there. He's completely quiet. You're in this bright pink bubble, and this pink bubble, it cannot be penetrated whatsoever. And he got me to try, and I was like doing all of this, and I couldn't get through it. And then I was like, cool, okay, I'm protected. And then he said, now visualize his child self standing next to him.
Mm,
And I looked at the little boy standing next to him. And then my guide said, now imagine the older version of him trying to hold his hand. And he couldn't take his hand.
mhm.
The adult version of him would not hold the little boy version of him. And I just suddenly started to cry. I felt so sorry for him. And I immediately knew in that moment that he had turned into the adult he had turned into, because he had not been shown it was okay to be a child. It was okay to be accepted. He was not given any semblance of care, compassion, tolerance, patience, all of those things. And it wasn't that I needed to give him those things. It was I needed to give me those things. I
Yes.
needed to leave him be. That was the best care and compassion I could give him, was just to leave him be. And the interesting thing was, and then obviously that helped, and thank God I was taken through that journey, because shit hit the fan last year, and
Mhm.
I needed that internal strength to go, now my kids come with me,
Yeah.
you know. And I'm taking on you know, going through the whole court system and everything years later, but I can't afford to be angry at
Yeah.
that. Otherwise it would take me down with it. And
Yeah.
like we don't necessarily see it at the time. We think forgiveness is all of this. I need to be okay with what he did or what they did or what happened, and it's not that at all. I now see forgiveness as I prioritize my joy, my purpose, my peace over the pain that you projected and the pain that was put upon you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting because at the end of the day, I see most hurt people, I see their inner child, like, I see their child. They're just a child. They're
Yeah.
they're a poor child that went through the suffering, and this is the result of that. Not to say it's okay, but
Mm.
to say, "Oh, I can see how that happened," which gives you that compassion and a little bit of understanding around it. So, it's
Yeah.
not easy. It's not for the faint of heart. And I know what you've gone through, and I honor you so much for the steps you're taking for your children, and yeah, yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah. And to remember that we are all souls having this human experience. And part of that is, if it was all light and love, it'd get pretty freaking boring. And we're
Yeah,
now witnessing it changing and moving and shifting. And that part is quite profound. Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
My guide Violet would say nothing wrong with a little bit of drama and a little bit of gossip to sauce things up a bit. We like a little bit of spice.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, and it's funny. I'm not quite ready to share what's been going on the last few days since the Leo full moon, but the Leo full moon was like a stamp for some things. I was like, okay, here we go. But I've
Yeah.
allowed it to happen very systematically, very consciously. I know the end result that I have pegged in, but I've also left it open. I'm like, I'm not controlling how that happens. I'm leaving it open. And every day is a new phone call to somebody to have a conversation. And that's been very interesting. Yeah.
Oh,
So
I love it.
yeah, don't judge yourself too hard. And it's taken all this journey of inner and these emotions and allowing things to process to
Yeah.
get me to where I am today, that I'm like, oh, I'm really comfortable in the unknown now.
Mm.
Which is, I look at it as a gift. I'm like, huh. So I can sit in the void and go, I don't need to know the outcome. It's okay.
It is. It is such a gift
Yeah.
to be okay in the unknown. Like when you look out and you see people are kind of scrambling to, because the unknown is so, pun intended, alien to them.
Yes.
It is a gift to be, you know what, I'm okay here.
Yeah. I've always been okay. I've always been taken care of. I don't need to worry. And then it's like, what do I need to respond to, not react to today?
Yeah.
Oh, and what action can I take that leads me to that final result without trying to control how I get there? And so that's been, and some things have happened. I'm like, oh, interesting that happened. What timing? It's like perfect timing. Yeah. Yeah. And then, you all know me. I'm quite often saying best adventure game ever. The pain that we go through, the suffering we go through, we get through. And when we get through it, it's like, you know, it can be as difficult as childbirth for those that have gone through that. Do you remember that process and that pain? No. It's like the body takes it away, but when you're in it, it's not
Oh,
easy. But when you're
yeah,
on the other side of it, you're like, "Oh, that was worth it."
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Any parting words? I know it's late for you over there in the UK, so any final words as a message?
Well, as you were talking, they just kept saying, "This is perfect timing." Like, this is perfect timing.
Yeah.
I feel like they want everyone to feel like everything's going to be okay, because
Yeah.
I've read a lot lately. Oh, we're doomed. Oh, this is like, oh, the world's falling apart. It's not. It's actually coming together. The things that are not meant to be here are the things that are falling apart. Everything's actually coming together. Like, and they've literally just shown me a house of cards coming up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And only in this division would people actually have this energy to finally turn and shift perspective to go to unity.
mm,
We always have to have the opposite of what we're in, and there's a lot of division. And is that division that you're witnessing online, is it I'm not there. Is it real? Is it staged? Is it CGI? We don't know for sure. So I try not give it attention because where your
yeah,
attention goes, energy flows. And
yeah,
why not put that energy that is yours to preserve and put towards self or those you love? You
yeah.
don't have to give your energy to that.
And spirit would just say, it's whatever you decide it is. It's whatever meaning that you decide to give it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So if you see it, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad. So don't kind of start to panic if you're seeing it, because you get to choose how you respond to it. Like, you could go, oh, I'm seeing people panic. Okay, what does that mean for me? Like, okay, do I have the tools to perhaps help people? So that's putting me in a position of, oh, I'm reminded of my own authority, of my gifts, of where I am in alignment, and where the timeline is of unity, and I can help remind others of that, and that ripple effect, rather than, oh, I'm seeing it, oh, I'm going to join people, with the fear. I'm going to join in with that fear and that disillusion and that destruction.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's
So
no right or wrong way.
yeah,
We need both to come together at the end. And oh, yeah, it's profound. It's profound when you can see the Libra scales. Always
oh
balance
yeah.
the two. Yeah, yeah, always balancing the two. And as we witness this shift happening, the astrology and walking into eclipse season, I tried to ignore the astrology. I actually even stated on one of my posts, I'm like, no, moon, we're done. I'm breaking up with you. I want my energy back. And sure enough, the next like new moon or full moon it was, I got my ass kicked. And yeah, it's pretty funny. But there's a lot there, and our astrology isn't meant to be followed like a book.
Yeah,
It's meant to play with the energies, and you always have your choice. You always have choice. Yeah.
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 And that's the beautiful thing about being a human being.
Yeah. And Shelly's a Libra. So Shelly and I have done medicine adventures together and held space for others. And we're very aligned in that way. Yeah. It's that just holding the space. Speaking of which, on Sunday at 9 a.m. PT, too early for you, we do have a Zoom call. So if you go onto the website, it's by donation, but you can change the amount and donate zero if you cannot afford it. So for an energy exchange, and I'll be leading a guided meditation with the elements of earth, as well as conversation. And then I am slowly building up more events such as a vedette in the summer, possibly, definitely Mexico, but we have room for 2 more over at Egypt, May 9th to the 19th. It'll
Oh,
come.
must be amazing for you. Oh,
And I'm going
yeah.
on the 1st and going through the Bedouin villages through the Sinai Mountains to go to the Red Sea to do a cleansing before. So I will be a very grounded, clear, clean
Mm.
and activated even more than I am now. So I'm super excited about that. Yeah. I can feel I can feel Egypt under my feet.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm sending you so much love over there in a virtual hug.
And you. And I would love to, honestly,
We
more
will
and more and more. I'm telling my
I
guys now they can hear more of this.
I
Yeah,
set
we
it up
will
for next
definitely do this.
Thursday, and
Perfect.
possibly that we bring in some different people. So invite who you
Mm.
like. Hello, Miss Caroline. Ah, you guys were just heading off, so you'll have to watch the replay if you just got on. Yeah, we're super excited for you to hear the message. There was no pre-planning except just to share. Yeah.
And if there are any other days, times that I can make, then I will
Well,
most definitely try.
yeah,
My
absolutely.
eldest is of that age now where she's like, Mum, how can I help? I'm like, yeah.
Nice, nice. We'll chat here just after the show, but I'll end the live for now. So sending you all so much love. Thank you for listening and showing up. And please feel free to share these if it is something that you know someone may benefit from. And the Zoom on Sunday, and I'll be doing more of those as well. So much love. Have a beautiful day.